Users of the internet, how did you deal with your first ever heartbreak? Looking back at my sophomore year of college, I never imagined my world would completely shatter and rebuild itself in such an unexpected way. I was that typical guy who thought he had it all figured out: decent grades, a loving girlfriend of 3 years, and what I believed was a solid plan for the future. Sarah and I had been together since high school, and everyone thought we were that perfect couple who would make it all the way. We had our entire lives mapped out, from the apartment we'd share after graduation to the names of our future pets. The signs were there, but I was too naive to see them. Sarah started spending more time with her study group, particularly with this guy named James from her psychology class. At first, I was supportive, even proud of how dedicated she was to her studies. She would come back late from these sessions, always with some elaborate explanation about complex projects and group presentations. I even defended her when my friends started raising concerns about how much time she was spending with James. I found out during finals week. One of her friends, Emma, pulled me aside after our shared economic class. The weight of what she told me felt like being hit by a truck. Sarah had been seeing James for the past 4 months. They would skip study sessions to spend time together in his apartment. What hurt the most wasn't just the betrayal, but the elaborate web of lies she had created to keep up this double life. Emma revealed how Sarah would laugh about how trusting I was, how easy it was to fool me. When I confronted Sarah, she didn't even try to deny it. She admitted everything, explaining how she felt we had grown apart, how James understood her better, how she was going to tell me eventually. The words came out of her mouth so casually, as if she were discussing the weather rather than destroying 3 years of trust and memories. She even had the audacity to suggest we could still be friends, that maybe this was for the best. That night, I sat alone in my dorm room, staring at the wall covered with our photos. The pain was unbearable, like someone had reached into my chest and was slowly crushing my heart. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't focus on my upcoming finals. Everything reminded me of her: the coffee shop where we had our first date, the bench outside the library where we used to study, even the stupid chemistry jokes she used to tell. The future we had planned together crumbled before my eyes, but something changed during that sleepless night. As I sat there surrounded by the remnants of our relationship, a strange thought crossed my mind. I realized I had spent the last 3 years building my life around someone else. My schedule, my choices, even my future plans, everything had been influenced by what worked best for us as a couple. For the first time in years, I was completely free to focus on myself. The realization hit me like a bolt of lightning. This pain could either break me or become the catalyst for something greater. The next morning, I made a decision. Instead of letting this break me, I would use this pain as fuel. I started small, rearranging my dorm room, removing all traces of Sarah. Then I focused on my finals, channeling all my emotional energy into studying. To my surprise, I aced every single one. My professors even commented on the improvement in my work, noting how my essays showed deeper analytical thinking than before. During winter break, I completely transformed my life. I joined the campus gym, not just to get in shape, but to have somewhere to go when the loneliness hit hardest. I started reading self-improvement books, joined different clubs on campus, and even picked up photography, something I had always wanted to try but never had the time for. Every moment I felt the urge to text Sarah or check her social media, I redirected that energy into improving myself. The change wasn't immediate. There were still nights when I would lie awake, wondering what I could have done differently, but gradually, those nights became less frequent. I started noticing changes in myself, not just physical ones from the gym, but mental ones too. I became more confident, more focused, more aware of what I actually wanted from life. My friends started commenting on the positive changes they saw in me, how I seemed more genuine and self-assured. By the time junior year started, I was a different person. My grades improved even further. I had made new friends through my various activities, and I even started mentoring freshmen in my major. The photography club I joined led to a part-time job shooting events for the university's marketing department. I discovered I had a natural eye for composition and storytelling through images. This hobby turned into a passion and eventually into a potential career path I never would have considered while with Sarah. I ran into Sarah and James about 8 months after our breakup. They were still together, and for the first time, seeing them didn't hurt. Instead, I felt grateful. Their betrayal had forced me to rebuild myself from the ground up, and I liked the person I had become much more than the one I was before. I realized that the relationship ending wasn't just about their betrayal, it was the universe's way of pushing me toward a better path. Now, as I approach graduation, I can honestly say that heartbreak was the best thing that ever happened to me. It taught me resilience, self-respect, and the importance of building a life that doesn't revolve around someone else. My grades are better than ever. I have a job lined up with a prestigious marketing firm, and I've developed genuine friendships with people who appreciate me for who I am. The pain that once felt unbearable has transformed into the foundation of my success. To anyone going through something similar, I want you to know that sometimes the worst thing that happens to you can lead to the best version of yourself. It's not about getting revenge or proving something to the person who hurt you. It's about proving to yourself that you're capable of so much more than you ever imagined. The key is to let the pain fuel your growth rather than consume you. Trust me, one day you'll look back and realize that what felt like an ending was actually just the beginning of something much better. It's been 3 months since my world turned upside down, and I'm still struggling to make sense of it all. Mark and I were together for 2 years, and I thought we had something special. We met through mutual friends during our junior year of college, and everything just clicked. He was kind, attentive, and seemed to understand me in a way no one else did. We had already started to talking about moving in together after graduation, even looking at apartments in the city where we both had job offers lined up. The revelation came during what I thought would be a normal Friday night. Mark had been acting distant for a few weeks, always on his phone, working late, and making excuses to not spend time together. I assumed it was stress from his new job. That night, he asked to meet at our favorite coffee shop, the one where we had our first date. I thought maybe he was planning something special. I even spent extra time getting ready, wearing the dress he always said looked beautiful on me. Instead, he sat me down and revealed everything. His hands were shaking as he told me about Alex, a colleague from work, how they had grown close over the past few months, how Alex had helped him accept something he had been struggling with his entire life. Then came the words that shattered my reality. Mark was gay, and he had been seeing Alex secretly for the past 2 months. Each word felt like a knife twisting deeper into my heart as he explained how their friendship had evolved into something more, how Alex had helped him understand his true self. The confession hit me like a tsunami. Every memory, every moment we shared, every plan we made, everything was suddenly questioned. Had any of it been real? Had I just been a cover story, a shield he used while figuring himself out? The questions kept piling up, but the answers only left me more confused and hurt. I thought about all the intimate moments we shared, all the times he told me he loved me, all the promises we made about our future together. Were they all lies, or did he believe them at the time, only to realize later that they weren't true? The worst part wasn't even the betrayal, it was the sympathy I felt I had to show. Everyone kept telling me how brave Mark was for coming out, how difficult it must have been for him. And yes, I understood that. I truly did. But what about my pain? What about the 2 years I invested in someone who was using me as a stepping stone to self-discovery? What about my dreams, my plans, my trust that had been shattered? It felt like I was cast as the villain in someone else's coming out story, expected to smile and be supportive while my heart was breaking into 1,000 pieces. I couldn't be angry without feeling guilty. I couldn't express my hurt without someone reminding me how hard it must have been for Mark. It felt like my feelings were invalid, like I wasn't allowed to be heartbroken because his journey somehow trumped my pain. Even my closest friends, while trying to be supportive, seemed more impressed by Mark's courage than concerned about my emotional state. I found myself having to pretend I was fine, that I completely understood and supported everything, when inside I was screaming. The following weeks were a blur. I deleted all our photos, unfollowed him on social media, but it wasn't enough. Every time I saw a happy couple, I wondered if they too were living a lie. Trust became a foreign concept. I started questioning everything and everyone around me. Was anyone really who they claimed to be? I became paranoid, analyzing every interaction, looking for signs I might have missed with Mark. Dating apps felt like minefields. How could I trust anyone's intentions anymore? My friends tried to help, setting me up on dates, taking me out to clubs, suggesting therapy, but nothing seemed to fill the void. It wasn't just about losing Mark. It was about losing my ability to believe in love, in authenticity, in the simple truth of what people show you. Every potential new relationship felt like another opportunity to be deceived. I found myself pulling away from people before they had a chance to hurt me, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of loneliness. The hardest part is seeing them together on campus. They don't hide their relationship anymore. Sometimes I catch glimpses of them holding hands, sharing inside jokes, being the couple Mark and I never truly were. Each sighting feels like reopening a wound that refuses to heal. The genuine happiness I see in Mark's eyes when he's with Alex, a happiness I never saw during our time together, makes me question every moment we shared. Was I really that blind, or was he that good at pretending? I've tried all the usual breakup remedies, throwing myself into work, starting new hobbies, even attempting to date again, but something feels broken inside me. How do you trust again after discovering that your entire relationship was built on a foundation of lies? How do you move forward when your past feels like a carefully crafted illusion? The self-doubt is crushing. I find myself replaying every conversation, every intimate moment, wondering if I somehow caused this, if I pushed him away, if I should have seen the signs earlier. Some days are better than others. I can go hours without thinking about it, almost feeling normal again. Then something triggers a memory, a song, a place, even a certain type of coffee, and I'm back at square one, questioning everything. The smallest things can send me spiraling, seeing our old text messages when I'm backing up my phone, finding one of his sweatshirts I missed when I was purging my apartment of his things, hearing our song playing in a store. I know I should be focusing on healing, on moving forward, on finding myself again. People keep telling me time heals all wounds, but right now, time seems to be moving at an agonizingly slow pace. I'm still trying to figure out how to trust again, how to believe in love again, how to stop seeing potential deception in every new person I meet. My therapist says I need to work on forgiving, not just Mark, but myself too. But how do you forgive yourself for not seeing something that seems so obvious in hindsight? This isn't the kind of story that ends with an amazing transformation or a valuable life lesson, at least not yet. Right now, I'm still in the middle of it, still trying to find my way through the darkness. Maybe someday I'll look back at this as a turning point in my life, but for now, I'm just trying to make it through each day, hoping that eventually the pain will start to fade and I'll find the strength to open my heart again. Until then, I'm learning to live with the uncertainty, trying to rebuild my sense of self without the foundation I thought I had.